They told you the greatest battles in life are fought out there, in the markets, in the arenas, in the noise of the world. They were wrong. The greatest battle you will ever fight is silent. It's the war inside your mind. And make no mistake, it is a war. Every single day, your mind is under siege. Not by enemies you can see, but by something far more dangerous. The quiet, persuasive voice that tells you to wait, to play it safe, to stay small. It's a voice that doesn't yell. It whispers. It whispers when you wake up in the dark hours before sunrise. Not today, not yet, maybe tomorrow. It wraps around your ambition like smoke, slowly choking the life from it. It pretends to be your friend, protecting you from risk, from discomfort, but it is the enemy, and its greatest weapon is convincing you it doesn't exist. Here's the truth. That voice is the only thing standing between you and the life you are capable of living. Not luck, not circumstance, not your past, only that voice. But what if, for the next 6 months, you could strip it of all power, not with empty hype or quick jolts of motivation that fade before nightfall, but with a mind so sharp, so disciplined, so alive that it cuts through every excuse like a blade through glass? 6 months that would turn you from a spectator of your own life into the one commanding every move, every outcome. Think of your mind as a battlefield, wide, sprawling, dangerous. Every thought is a soldier. Every belief is a flag, either raised in victory or torn down in defeat. The battle never stops. The only question is, who commands your army? When the storms hit, because they will, who will hold your banner high? Fear, disguised as comfort, whispering for you to retreat, or faith, discipline, and vision, unyielding generals who do not surrender no matter the cost. History has already shown you the blueprint. The question is whether you will follow it. Thomas Edison called a failure thousands of times before he coaxed light from the darkness. The world labeled him stubborn, insane. He answered not with words, but with work. Each failure became a spark. Each spark, a step closer to brilliance. He didn't curse the dark. He studied it until it revealed its secrets. His belief was a fire no wind could extinguish. Henry Ford laughed at for imagining a world where machines replaced horses. Bankruptcy hit him. Critics mocked him. Yet his vision remained unshaken. It was discipline, relentless, exhausting, uncompromising, that built the foundation of an empire. His clarity was a lighthouse cutting through fog and resistance, showing him the way forward when no one else could see it. Walt Disney, fired for lacking imagination, rejected by bankers who told him his dreams were too risky. But every insult became fuel. Every closed door became another blueprint. His discipline was the sword that cut through doubt. His belief was the shield that deflected every blow. Out of rejection, he built a kingdom. Abraham Lincoln, scarred by loss, humbled by repeated defeat, twice denied the presidency, mocked, ridiculed, underestimated. Yet his vision of unity and freedom burned brighter than every insult and every failure. His resilience was a fortress no storm could breach. Nikola Tesla, brilliant, misunderstood, often forgotten. He lived in poverty and isolation, surrounded by those who called him mad. But solitude only sharpened his resolve. Poverty became his proving ground. His resilience became the current that lit the world. These men understood something most never will. Mindset mastery is not a passive state. It is a fight for control over your own thoughts, over your focus, over the direction of your life. Clarity is your compass. Belief is your fuel. Discipline is the blade you carry into battle. Gratitude is the armor that allows you to stand in the fire without burning. Resilience is the shield that takes the blows and refuses to crack. Every morning the war begins again. Fear will be there, whispering for you to settle. Doubt will be there, asking if you're really capable. Comfort will be there, urging you to put it off until tomorrow. But so will choice. And choice is your weapon. 6 months, 180 days of war, not against the world, not yet, but against the only enemy that truly matters, the part of you that clings to the familiar while your future rots in silence. You train your mind like a soldier trains for battle, daily, fiercely, without mercy. When doubt knocks, you answer with faith. When failure stings, you answer with resilience. When comfort tempts, you answer with discipline. Understand this. Success is not gifted. It is not stumbled upon. It is seized, built, and defended with relentless action. It belongs to the few who have the courage to believe before there is proof and the discipline to act while the rest sleep. 6 months from now, the reflection in your mirror can be unrecognizable, stronger, sharper, unshakable, a force that doesn't ask permission to win, proof that belief and action together can move mountains. The transformation begins here, not in the future, not after the perfect moment arrives. Now, so I'll ask you once. Will you answer the call? Will you turn fear into fuel? Will you make every doubt another step forward? Will you turn every failure into a lesson written in fire? Because the clock is moving, and time will not wait for you. There's a reason so many people start strong and fade into nothing. It's not because they weren't capable. It's not because the dream was too big. It's because they underestimated the grind. See, the dream is exciting. The first step feels powerful, but excitement fades. The real test is what you do after the adrenaline burns out, after the applause stops, after the world forgets to care. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline is not glamorous. It's not loud, but it's ruthless and it is loyal. Discipline will drag you through days when your heart isn't in it, when the work feels pointless, when progress feels invisible. And if you hold on to it long enough, discipline will carry you into a life you can barely imagine now. Ford didn't push through because it was fun. He pushed through because discipline had carved itself into his bones. Disney didn't keep drawing because people believed in him. Most didn't. He kept drawing because he refused to let yesterday's rejection decide tomorrow's reality. Every great life has moments when it would have been easier to quit, moments where logic says stop, moments where pride says you've done enough, moments where fear says you're risking too much. And this is where the average person dies long before their last breath. They surrender to the voice that says rest when they should be moving. They let the fire burn down to embers and never bother to fan it back to life. But you cannot be average. You cannot allow 6 months to pass and still be the same, because 6 months is not a long time. 6 months is a blink. You can either waste it or you can make it the foundation that changes everything. This is why clarity matters. Clarity is the lighthouse. It tells you where you're going when the fog rolls in and the path disappears. Without clarity, every distraction feels urgent. Every temptation feels like a reasonable detour. And soon, 6 months have slipped through your fingers like sand, leaving you right where you started. Clarity starts with a decision, a sharp, final decision about who you are becoming and what you are building. Not a vague wish, not a list of hopes. A decision so final it feels like burning the ships behind you so there's no way back. Lincoln made that decision. It's what kept him standing when war tore his country apart. Tesla made that decision. It's what kept him working in the dead of night while the world ignored him. Carnegie made that decision. It's what lifted him from poverty to power. And here's the thing. Once you decide, the work becomes non-negotiable. The excuses stop sounding reasonable. The obstacles stop feeling like signs to quit and start looking like the very steps you have to take to get where you're going. 6 months, that's all I'm asking. 180 days where your focus is absolute, where belief becomes a law inside you, not a passing mood, where you sharpen your discipline until it becomes part of who you are. Yes, you will face days when your energy is gone. Yes, you will face days when you question the point. And yes, you will face moments that hurt deeply, but that's the price. And it's a price worth paying, because here's what will happen if you don't. 6 months from now, you'll still be talking about what you're going to do someday. You'll still be letting fear negotiate your future. You'll still be letting comfort feed you scraps while the feast of life sits just out of reach. The people who win, they are not stronger than you. They are not smarter than you. They are simply the ones who decided that 6 months of discomfort was worth a lifetime of freedom. I want you to burn this into your mind. Every single day is a vote. You are voting for the person you will be 6 months from now. Every decision, whether to work or to rest, to move forward or to stall, is a ballot. And 6 months from now, you will be living with the person you voted for. If you want that person to be stronger, clearer, freer, then every vote must count. So tomorrow, when the alarm goes off and the temptation to roll over creeps in, I want you to remember, this is the war. When your body says stop, remember, this is the war. When the results aren't visible yet and doubt starts whispering, this is the war. And war is not won by those who wait for perfect conditions. It is won by those who fight with what they have, where they are, every single day until victory is undeniable. You have 6 months. The question is not whether you can do it. The question is, will you? Close your eyes for a moment. Picture the version of you that exists 6 months from now, not in theory, not as a hazy dream, but in perfect, undeniable detail. The way they walk, confident, unhurried, as if they own the ground beneath their feet. The way they speak, calm, certain, every word carrying weight because it's backed by action. The way they decide without hesitation because doubt no longer sits in the driver's seat. That version of you is not a fantasy. That version is waiting, but they are not coming to you. You have to go to them. And the road to get there will demand more than you've ever given. Because here's the truth nobody likes to face. Growth is not gentle. It's violent. It tears apart the version of you that's comfortable. It strips away excuses like old skin. It dismantles habits you've carried for years and leaves you exposed, raw, unsteady. Most people turn back here. The pain feels like failure. The uncertainty feels like danger. But those who endure, those who lean into the discomfort, emerge sharper, faster, unshakable. Think about it. Every legend you admire has walked through that fire. Edison's sleepless nights in the lab, Ford's countless prototypes that refused to work, Disney's endless rejections before a single door opened, Lincoln's years of political defeat before the presidency was his. None of them got there by protecting their comfort. They sacrificed it. They replaced it with something far more valuable. Capacity, the ability to stand in chaos without crumbling, the ability to keep moving forward when every sign says stop. That's what these 6 months are about. Not just building success, but building you, a version of you who doesn't break under pressure, who doesn't need the world's approval to keep going, who doesn't flinch at the size of the dream because they've fought battles far greater inside themselves. And let's be clear, this is not about waiting for motivation to show up. Motivation is a guest. It visits when it feels like it, and it never stays long. What you're building is not dependent on moods or feelings. You're building discipline, the kind that shows up when you don't want to, that works in the dark with no applause, that keeps hammering until the wall falls. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about control. Control over where your mind goes when the world tries to pull it off course. Control over what you feed your focus. Control over whether you spend your energy building or bleeding it out on distractions. Gratitude will be your armor in this fight. Because when you train your mind to see what you have instead of obsessing over what's missing, you strip fear of its leverage. You stop living from a place of scarcity and start moving from a place of power. Gratitude turns obstacles into training grounds. It turns losses into lessons. It reminds you that even in the storm, you are still standing. And standing means you can still fight. Resilience is your shield, the ability to take a hit hard and keep going, the ability to hear no and not let it touch your belief, the ability to watch something you've built crumble and still find the will to rebuild. And you will be tested. Oh, you will be tested. There will be days when you are tired down to your bones, days when the goal feels too far away to matter, days when you'll be tempted to tell yourself it's just one day off. But this is how the old version of you survives, through the tiny compromises, through the slow erosion of standards, through the quiet decision to choose comfort over commitment. Not this time, not for you, not in these 6 months. Every time you push through instead of backing off, you're voting for the future you want. Every time you choose the harder right over the easier wrong, you're laying another brick in the foundation of the person you are becoming. And here's the beautiful thing. Momentum will take over. At first, every step feels heavy. Every action feels like you're dragging a boulder uphill. But as you stack days, as you string victories together, something changes. loses. The boulder starts to roll with you. The hill starts to flatten. The fight is still there, but now you have gravity on your side. The person you are at the end of these 6 months will not be a surprise. They will be the sum of every choice you made between now and then. So here's my challenge. Stop thinking about the finish line and start thinking about this day, this hour, this moment. Win the moment in front of you. Stack enough of them together, and the future takes care of itself. Remember, 6 months is nothing in the span of your life, but it is everything if you use it right. It's the difference between a year you barely remember and a year that changes everything. And 6 months from now, I want you to be able to say one thing without hesitation: I didn't hold back. 6 months, that's all it takes to rewrite the story? Not in theory, not in some distant future, here, now. But make no mistake, and this will not be easy. Easy is the language of the mediocre. Easy is the path lined with abandoned dreams and silent regret. You are not here for easy. You are here for victory, and victory demands sacrifice. It will demand your old habits, the ones that feel harmless but quietly bleed you of time, energy, and focus. It will demand your excuses, every "I'll start tomorrow" you've used to bargain with your own potential. It will demand the comfort you've been clinging to like a shield, the comfort that's been killing you in slow motion. But in exchange, it will give you something no one can take away. A mind fortified like steel. A discipline that moves you forward whether you feel like it or not. A vision so clear it cuts through the fog of doubt and distraction. And here's the secret. Once you've built this, it's yours forever. You will never again be at the mercy of moods, circumstances, or the approval of others. You will own yourself. And when you own yourself, you own your future. Think of the life you want, not in vague shapes, but in vivid detail. The places you'll go, the work you'll create, the people whose lives will change because you refuse to quit. Think of the freedom to choose, to build, to live on your own terms. It's all there, waiting, but it will not walk toward you. You must march toward it, step by step, day by day, blow after blow until the walls break. Do not waste these 6 months waiting to feel ready. Do not waste them waiting for permission. Do not waste them thinking you need more time. Time is the one thing you will never get back. Every second is a piece of your life you can never reclaim. And in 6 months, those seconds will have built something, either a stronger you or the same you. So here's the command. Decide. Decide who you will be when the clock runs out. Decide what 6 months of unwavering belief and relentless action will make of you. And once you decide, there is no going back. You burn the bridges. You tear down the escape routes. You commit so deeply that there is no maybe, no we'll see, no I hope. Because the truth is, hope is weak without action. Belief is hollow without proof. And dreams are useless without discipline. You must fight for this. You must want it more than you want comfort. You must want it so badly that failure is just another step on the way, not the end. When doubt comes, and it will, you stare it down until it retreats. When fear comes, and it will, you turn it into fuel and move faster. When the world tells you to quit, and it will, you smile, because they've just confirmed you're on the path worth walking. 6 months from now, you will look in the mirror. You will see one of two people, the one who caved, who delayed, who let the voice inside win, or the one who fought, who endured, who claimed the life that was theirs to take. Which one will it be? Because the clock is already ticking, and every second is asking you the same question: will you rise? If this message struck something deep inside you, if it woke a spark you thought was gone, then don't keep it to yourself. A spark left alone burns out. A spark shared can set the world on fire. Somewhere right now, someone you care about is standing at the edge of their own decision, trapped between fear and faith, waiting for a word, a sign, a reason to rise. Be the one who sends it to them. Share this message, not tomorrow, not when you remember, but now. Because the right words at the right time, in the right hands, can change a life, and a changed life can change the world.